Hello.
Hi.
Are you done playing with the pillow?
Hi
everyone.
Get comfy.
Hold on while we let Randy get comfortable with her pillow.
Chairs. This is a 1 minute chair. Yeah, you know, Oprah has 1 hour shoes, all day shoes, or some are.
So let's just talk about this chair for 1 second. Hey everyone, it's KJ and Randy from Real Estate Date with KJ and Randy. This chair is beautiful. It's like a teal pleather. But
you can see it.
We did not realize we bought it online that you slowly slip down.
It's like back in the
It's like
70s.
It's like
that's what we really want to do. But the whole time we're doing a video, like, do you see us moving it?
Yeah, and here's the trick. Every other video you see us switching seats because we're like, you sit in that one, you sit in that one.
My abs are getting tired.
Alrighty then. We're on step 9. Almost done. There's 10 steps. Yay.
Yay.
Step 9. What's step 9?
Our final walkthrough.
Yes.
I love this. It's super important.
It's very important.
It's very important. And it's a must.
Yes. Yes.
Legally, do you have to?
No. The thing is, if you do it too far in advance, the walkthrough is meant for you to make sure the house is cleaned. It's called broom swept. So you don't have to like wash the walls, but everything's supposed to be cleared out, clean. So if you're doing it 3 or 4 days prior, what happens if the day before closing the sump pump quits and you close and now there's a flood? Does that make sense?
So you either do it the morning of or the day before?
Usually it's done the night before.
Within 24 hours?
Yeah, usually.
Okay, so I have a couple of questions for her. I'm just going to throw these at her and see if she can handle them.
Distress. Okay, go ahead.
There can be holes in the walls and stuff like that for nails.
From nails.
Like you're not going to have the house, it's not going to be painted. They're not obligated to paint it unless that was in your contract. And it's just going to be broom swept, meaning that it's overall clean, but they're still.
So what most people do is leave the nails in the wall. You can pull the nails out, but they do leave little holes, so leave the nails. Any bigger holes are supposed to be patched.
Okay.
Curtain rods are supposed to be left. People don't realize this. You can actually take the curtains, but in one of the paragraphs it says anything attached to the house has to stay. So you're there to verify the curtain rods are there, the hangers that go to the curtain rods. They didn't remove light fixtures. They didn't know the appliances that were written in the contract are there. Any major damage that was done, and movers can make damage. I just closed on a house where one of the moving trucks literally went off the driveway, and I think it was like a 3 by 10 area of pavement that got crushed because the truck was so heavy. That is covered by the mover's insurance company, but that was something at the walkthrough that had to be addressed at the closing because it was done prior to my folks purchasing the house. So you're going to walk through, make sure everything's out. They didn't leave trash. The refrigerator's emptied. Typically people clean it. Some walkthroughs go really well and everything's immaculate and clean, and some you can tell they moved, they swept, and they left.
So what happens if you get to walk through and something you guys, you've agreed on in the contract, like, there's supposed to be a new sliding door, and you get there and to walk through and it's not done.
Okay, so then you would notify the attorneys, and we are not attorneys, so we're not supposed to speak to what legal action can be taken, but that's when at the closing table, typically the attorneys, they'll either postpone closing until it gets done.
Will they let you know ahead of time, or will they?
If you do the walkthrough the day before, the night before, it's easier. If you do it that morning of, typically what they'll have to do is redo the numbers for the closing, and the seller would have to probably put some money aside in an escrow or do what they call a holdback until he either fixes it, so for instance in the winter time there's a lot of holdbacks at closing for septic if you're on a septic system, and in the winter time you can't test the septic. So this winter I must have had 5 or 6 where the seller closes but they hold back whatever the attorneys decide. Now we're getting the septic dye test done and the seller will now get his money released. Same thing if there's damage. But again, if you're moving with a professional moving company, they're usually insured for things like that.
Okay.
But I will tell you, I had a closing once where, this was early on, so note to self, they had a beautiful area rug in the dining room. And at the walkthrough, we realized after they took the rug that the floor underneath the rug was damaged.
So what happened?
They didn't even think of it. It was that way when they bought it, the previous owners. Then they threw the area rug, so they never dawned on them. But my buyers were not told about it, nor did they see it during any of the inspections. So they had to give a credit to the buyer.
Repair the floor?
Yep, to fix the floor.
So those are things that can happen when you go to your final walkthrough. Yep. But normally, I'd say typically,
easy
you know,
beans.
Things are supposed to be completed that were discussed. It might be a couple of minor little things that you can work out, you know, cordially amongst each other. And then you have, at least here in New York, we have attorneys there to make sure that if there's anything bigger that
paint
goes
cans.
down.
Let's talk about paint cans.
Paint cans, because it's like a big controversy. There's two types of people in the world. People that care if you left your paint cans, and the other type of people that don't care if you left your paint cans.
Just ask before closing, do you want the paint cans left, and they'll tell you yes or no.
All right, let us know if you have questions about walkthrough, or if you had any